What's up, guys? I'm Elliot.
And I'm Rachel. Thanks for joining in with us today. And we're going to be making sea creatures. So we're going to do another craft today with you guys. The sea creature that we already have prepped this is a squid. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to make an octopus. I think Elliot's making...
I'm making a squid.
He's making a squid. You can also make a jellyfish at home too if you want. Or turtle or something like that. So Elliot and I today, we are keeping our social distance away from each other, and we have 2 sets of everything that we need. So we'll go over the materials that we need today. So we need 1 toilet paper tube. Elliot has his, I have mine. We need a piece of paper. It can be construction paper, it can be white paper, it could be newspaper, any kind of paper that you have. And you don't need a lot. All you really need is enough paper so you can roll your toilet paper roll in it, and we'll get to that later.
So real quick, guys, with the paper, the only real difference between Rachel's octopus and my squid, other than the number of legs, is that I did this little crest up here. And that's just because the top of the squid would look like that. For anyone who also wants to make a squid.
Alright, so the other materials that we need, since I'm making an octopus today, I have 8 pieces of string. If you do not have string at your house, and you want to create an octopus, squid, or a jellyfish, you can also cut up strips of paper. So with the one that I prepped, I used string and paper just for some different texture. But you can always just cut up strips of paper, and those can be your tentacles that you're going to need. You're also going to need scissors today. We're using craft scissors. So if you're over the age of 8, I would say it's fine if you use these by yourselves. However, it's always good to have a parent around when you're using something sharp. I'm going to be using crayons today. Elliot, what are you using?
I'm using these markers.
Elliot's using markers. So Elliot has Sharpies in there, and he also has some paint markers. Those are from my house. I suggest that you guys use Crayola. Those are more kid-friendly. So we're using crayons and markers today to decorate. And then the last thing that we're going to need is we're going to need tape. So I have a roll of tape, and Elliot has a roll of tape. And we're going to use our tape. So the first thing that we have to do is we're going to grab our cardboard roll, and we're going to place it down on our piece of paper. And what we're going to do is we're just going to roll until our cardboard tube is completely covered. Okay? And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab your tape. Now if you don't have tape like this, you could always use painter's tape or duct tape or electrical tape. You could also use glue if you guys want. If you have glue stick, you can put the glue here and then paste it down. But today, Elliot and I were using tape, and we're just going to place that along here. So now our tube is covered in the color of our choice. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our scissors, okay? So if you are younger, I would suggest grab mom, or if you don't have craft scissors, grab mom or dad. This is a good time to do that. Alright, so if you look in your tube, you should see the cardboard, and then you should also see the paper. What we're going to do with our scissors is we are going to make 4 cuts to the cardboard. So we're going to cut down just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do this on the opposite side as well. And you're just going to cut down to the cardboard. And you're going to do 4 cuts. And then you're going to put your scissors aside because we don't need those for right now. All right. Oh, Elliot's getting his last cut. So since Elliot has a face for a squid, he's not going to cut that 4th cut. He's going to leave that open. So what we're going to do now is we're going to tuck the paper in. So we're just going to push down, just like this, guys. We're going to tuck that paper in. Once you have one side done, then you're going to move on to your other side. And you're just going to tuck those pieces of paper into your tube. And the reason why we're tucking is so that everything looks nice and uniform. So remember, Elliot is not going to tuck this piece because he's making a squid and he wants to add a face. So his face is going to be up there. So if you've noticed, so some of my paper is standing up a little bit, you can use your tape and you're just going to tape it down. And your paper should stay down. And you can do that in the areas that you feel need to be taped down. I have a couple places, so I'm going to add a couple strips of tape on the inside of my tube. You don't want to do the outside. You want to do the inside of your tube.
Why is that, Rachel?
Well, you want to do the inside of your tube because the outside we're going to decorate later, and we don't want the tape to get in the way.
That makes sense.
So my tube is all set. Elliot, how's your tube coming out?
I think mine looks pretty good.
Okay, cool. All right, so now that we have our tube all covered in the color that we want, or the color that we have, we're going to work on the tentacles next. So if you are making an octopus like I am, you're going to want to make sure that you have 8 strips of yarn or string or paper. And if you're making a jellyfish or a squid, it doesn't really matter. It's up to you. You can choose a lot of tentacles. You can choose a little bit of tentacles. It's up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a nice long piece of tape. Not too long, but I'd say let's count. 1, 2, about a 2-second pull, okay? So we have our tape. And we're going to put the non-sticky side on the table. We're going to put the non-sticky side on the table, just like this. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our tentacle and we're going to put it on the tape. We're not going to go all the way up. We're going to only put it to about half, and then we're going to press it down, right? So that's one tentacle. And then I'm going to add another one. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, and it's okay if not everything fits on the first strip of tape. 6. So once you have the tentacles lined up on your tape, you're going to grab your tube again. And now you're going to put the sticky part on the inside. So what I do is I kind of just like push in first with my thumb. And then you can kind of just secure it around the edges. And you just push. And it doesn't matter if they're even or not. So that's one side. And I'm going to go ahead and finish up my other side, and we can check in to see how Elliot's doing. Elliot, how are you doing with yours?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, pretty good. So Elliot is making a squid today. And so what I'm doing is I couldn't add all of my tentacles onto the first piece of tape. So I just pulled out another piece of tape, and again, I add my tentacles to my tape first. And then the sticky side. So if you're adding a second piece like me, you don't want to add it over the pieces that you've already done. So you want to do it on the other side of the cardboard tube. So like I said, you can push up and kind of just secure it in there. So now it should look like you have little tentacles. And remember, if you don't have yarn, you could use string, or you can use strips of paper. So what we want to do now is we're going to decorate. Elliot, you ready?
Yep.
Almost?
Yep.
So Elliot is going to add another thing of tentacles as well.
You can go on a little bit. I'll catch up.
Okay. So what we're going to do is, so on my tube, you can see the tape because I have very dark paper. If you have a lighter paper, you might not be able to see the tape. But I don't want to decorate my creature where that's showing. So I want a nice blank area. So Elliot has a nice blank area because he cut out a spot for his face. I'm going to put the face straight onto my paper tube like I did with this one. So earlier in the video, we talked about what we're going to use. I'm using crayons today, and Elliot's going to use markers. And you can pick out any color you want. And we're going to start with the eyes, okay? So we're going to start with the eyes. So how you make eyes is you're just going to draw 2 ovals or circles, 2 ovals or circles. Very good. 2 ovals or circles. Now, you can add a nose if you want. I'm not adding a nose. I'm just going to add a smiley face. And a smiley face is just a curved line with 2 lines up top. So that's the basic face shape. And now what we're going to do is we're going to color in our eye. So I have very dark paper, so I'm only going to be working with white today. But it looks like Elliot's chosen some different colors. Just be careful with those markers. So Elliot's using a very fancy type of marker. And these are actually paint markers. So if you're at home and you're using paint, make sure that you're being very, very careful. Okay, so then you're just going to color in your eyes with, again, whatever color you want. I'm going to stick with white because I have black paper. All right, and we're done with our face. Okay, so we're going to add the piece of string to the top of our sea creature. And what you guys are going to do is you're going to grab a small piece of tape and you're going to put your string or your yarn or your paper or whatever. And then you're going to push it into the top. So you don't want to push it into the part where your tentacles already are. You're going to push it into the top. Now that's one side. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to do the same thing to the other side. So we get a tiny piece of tape and we're going to stick it onto our yarn or our string. And then we're going to push it into the top. Remember, not the side with the tentacles on it, but on the top. And voila! Now we have a swimming sea creature. Swimming through the air, but swimming nonetheless. All right. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and tune in for our next arts and crafts video. Thanks for stopping by, and have a good day.